Welcome to Answers from Within. From the author of the All-Knowing Diary, Mind Lies into Truths that will set you free.
Answers from Within. And we've got the lovely Pearl once again. And these sessions are awesome. I love doing these. I'm very intrigued as to where we're going to go today and what we're going to touch on. So, Pearl, enlighten me. What are we covering today?
We're covering relationships.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. I've been thinking a lot about connections to others. You know, I feel very fortunate and blessed that I found the love of my life. I'm married quite a few years and we're very well connected. But when I look at friends and sometimes even family, I look at the connection. Feel like I don't get as close as I want to.
Do you mean with friends and family? With friends and family, you're not getting as close as you'd like to with them? Is that what you mean?
Mostly friends. Like I'm not friends with a lot of people I used to be friends with. I didn't feel like I relate to a lot of people. But I find that that's something in my life that I would like more of. Good friends, good girlfriends. I have two, but I don't know if it's where I live. Everybody's very busy. Or it's me and how I connect to people. Because when I meet new people and I would like to start a friendship with them, it doesn't happen. I'm wondering, is it a block in me that I don't see, or it's something I'm doing?
Okay, there's a couple of things that I'm seeing, and
yeah,
we'll just go one by one. Okay, the first thing that I'm seeing is the biggest blockage is that you have a need. You have this belief of I should make more friends. I should have more friends, and I should be able to make more friends, and life's not quite the same without having lots of friends. We're conditioned in society that... we're conditioned in society to think that to be alone, to be a loner, is like a terrible, terrible thing. And like, it makes you a loser, you know? When you're at school, oh, look, he's got no friends. He's a loser. And so then you become an adult and you think, oh, no, I'm not living a full life because I should be making more friends. I should have more, but I just don't. So there's that in itself is a non-truth. For lots of people, their family, husband, kids, or wife and kids, is all they actually need. And on a spiritual level, not we look at things from the eyes of truth, you don't necessarily need any more than that. That's a societal concept. So there's a part of you wrestling with that. I should have more girlfriends. I should be more sociable. I should be able to make friends more easily. And a lot of that is tied into I'm not like other people, not everybody likes me, I should be more flexible, more open-minded. So it's just another way to really give yourself a hard time about something. And don't we do that? Oh, I don't have enough friends, so it must be me.
Yeah.
Everyone else has more friends. It must be me. I'm not easygoing enough, or sociable enough, or fun-loving enough. So let's look at the truth for that for you, all right? Without you realizing it, really consciously, you had a realization, and it was a good one, which was if I'm not going to have friends that are worthy of me, then why bother having friends? Do you remember that? Are you a bit present to that?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So, on one hand, you can call that a blockage, but realistically, you set a parameter. You said, well, I'm not going to dick around with people's dramas, with issues, with betrayals, deceit. I'm not going to deal with drama and gossip. I'm not going to deal with that stuff. And if that's who you are, I don't want you in my life. Unfortunately, that accounts for about 95, 98% of the population.
Yeah.
So you've gone 95, 98% of the population, we're not going to work. It's not going to work. I'm sorry. There's no point. There's no point. So you're giving yourself a hard time for not having more people in your life when you've pretty much ousted 95 to 98% of candidates. Now, when I said unfortunately, that's only from the perspective of if you wanted more friends, well, that kind of goes against that objective. But it's right, and it's true to yourself that you set that parameter. You reached a point where, well, why am I settling for this? Just so I can say I have friends? Just so I've got people to call me or Facebook me or call me out on a Saturday night? Am I putting up with all this shit just so I feel I'm not out of touch with the social scene?
Yeah.
So kudos to you, really. Anyone can go and hang out with lots of people. That's not difficult. Having numbers, quantities isn't difficult. You could do that if you really wanted to, but God, what that will do to your quality of experiences is not what you're after. You're after quality, not quantity, aren't you? Let's be...
Absolutely.
So you're upset at yourself, I don't have quantity, but you only want quality. You don't want quantity.
Right.
So you've been getting upset at yourself when really you should be patting yourself on the back going, I've got quality, I don't have quantity, and that's what I wanted in the first place.
Yeah.
Now, there's some other non-truths in there that we need to look at, and that is you do fear connection. Now that we've got I need connection out of the way, we've dealt with that, there is still I fear connection. And what that relates to is, what if I see that there are other people just like me? Then I'm not going to feel so special. Then I'm not going to feel that my excuses I make for certain things in my life, that they're not real. Because, we say things, oh no, I'm different, so I can't do that. Like, we went for a run last week. I didn't run. I've got an excuse. I hurt my knee 2 years ago. That's my excuse for not running. And it's a good one. I like it. I'm sticking with it. But, all our excuses have consequences. They limit us in some way. And it just means I keep my knee injury in place rather than fully heal it. If I keep the excuse, I keep the injury. So if you keep away from connections, it means you get to keep excuses going in your life. Reasons for why you are and why you want to stay in a particular way. Does that make sense? Yep. So,
I could stay where I am rather than grow.
Yeah.
And
so let's
my potential.
It is completely about protection. But it's funny because it really doesn't have anything to do with anyone else. It really isn't to do with other people. This is to do with, if we peel back the layers and we go nice and deep in there, we'll look at it like, well, if I surrender to connection with other people, and there's intimacy, because connection is a form of intimacy. If there's intimacy there, I'm vulnerable. Yeah, we're all familiar with these concepts. This isn't anything. But what am I really vulnerable to that I'm afraid of here? What I'm vulnerable to is getting to see deeper parts of myself. What if there is some softness, some gentleness, some extraordinary light inside of me? And what if the world sees that? And what if I see that? I'll never be the same again. Why are we afraid to never be the same again? So that's what's going on. I'm afraid I'll never be the same again if I surrender to these connections and the vulnerability. I'm afraid. On the surface, it looks like I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt. Well, that's what vulnerability fears are all about. I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt. But they're actually not about that. That's just layer one. This vulnerability fear is far more interesting than I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt. What it's actually about is I'm afraid I'm going to be great. I'm afraid I'm going to see a level of greatness in myself that I've never dared to see. And I'm going to be intimately connected to somebody in this process. I don't want that. I don't want confusion. I don't want conflict. And what if I have a deep connection with somebody? Now, do you understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. I never thought that's the reason. The fear of intimacy.
It goes deep.
I will see my own great.
Yeah, it goes deeper though.
Yeah.
I just needed you to get that bit before I can go to the next level.
Yeah.
So it's this fear of, what if I connect to somebody else on such a deep level and I see my vulnerability and I see this light and love within myself for this person? Then what? And what that takes us to is, what if I fall in love with myself? So the ego comes in and goes, well, what if you fall in love with somebody else? Don't do it. It's too dangerous. It's too risky. Don't be vulnerable. Stay closed. But it's like, what if you fall in love with yourself? That is the fear. If I see this greatness there that I've never seen before and I fall head over heels in love with myself. Terrifying.
Yeah.
Why are we so afraid to fall in love with ourselves when that's all we seek in every single moment of every minute of our life? Why are we so afraid?
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you. Because if we fall in love with ourselves, all the trying, all the needing, all the wanting, all the aspiring, all the what we get from our husbands, what we get from our wives, what we get from all our interactions. We won't need any of that stuff. We
won't need anything. Anybody, right?
You won't need anything. You'll be free from need. Terrifying concept when our whole identity is built upon need. So you can see what's at stake. The ego goes, but I live for striving. I am striving. I live for accomplishment, recognition, admiration, others' affection and love, and buying into all my stuff. I live for that because that's what I am. If she falls in love with herself, what happens to this guy here? No more ego. It's the end, it's the death of the ego. It's over. To fall in love with yourself is the death of the ego. So it's so much fear. It creates fear. It's not your fear. You're feeling its fear. And it's like, oh my God, if she makes new friends and there's some deep, intimate connection, there's a chance she might fall in love with herself. And whoop, there we go. It's all over. Life will never be the same again.
Yeah.
We fear losing the life that we've worked so hard to create. More accurately said, we fear losing the need to keep trying in life, to keep working hard. It's very scary. It's a very, very, very scary concept to not need to strive and to try and to aim for things and work on something. So how are we going to turn this around? That's the $1 million question.
Yeah.
First thing is to realize it's actually what we want. We don't want to keep striving. We don't want to keep making life difficult for ourselves or each other. And we don't want to fear falling in love with ourselves. We don't want that, do we?
No. Not at all.
We don't want to have all these needs that are causing us to feel inadequate, insecure, poor, meaningless, helpless. We don't want all these needs to keep feeling we're not enough, do we?
No.
What we all seek is to feel connected to that greatness within. That's what we're all going for. That's why we are doing everything we are doing, is so we can feel great.
Yeah.
But we're going about it the wrong way. We're listening to all the needs rather than realizing they were never our needs in the first place. So why follow them? So
yeah.
The next thing we need to do, once we realize we don't want any of those things anyway, we ask, well, what's standing in our way of being in love with ourselves? Now what's standing in the way?
Mm.
It's this thought of, if I love myself, then I won't need other people to love me, then I won't get love from others. And I need that. I need that. That's important.
Yeah.
But that's just a blockage, just a blockage. And the truth behind all of that is, when you have the love from yourself, when you have self-love, you see that you are all others. Why would I need their love when I am all of them already?
Yeah, and they're me. We're all one.
But we haven't wanted to look at that. Yep. We've been creating this the division, the separation of they are separate, I need something from them, and I'm not going to rest or be happy until everyone gives me what I think I need. So we're worried that we'll miss out, when the truth is we're missing out now. This is missing out. Not being in love with ourselves now is the ultimate of missing out in life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, to be concluded.
Yeah, right.
In our next session together, we are going to cover, how can I be in love with myself? What's in the way and how do I get past it? So if you have a question that needs answering, come along to danielanswers.com